Hi, I'm Nick from the Mustang Shop. Today we will be aligning a 1965 Mustang with the Mustang Shop adjustable strut rod arms. You can make the adjustment here, and we've eliminated the rubber bushings here. The Mustang Shop adjustable strut rod arm allows you to move the tire back and forth, which gives you the best alignment possible for your vehicle. As you can see, in 1965 and 66, the vehicle settings are very poor. The Mustang Shop adjustable strut rods allows you to move the tire forward for a more positive caster setting, which allows you to track down the road straighter, return back to center, and with the solid mount allows the driver to feel what the vehicle is doing. Okay, the next step is to hook up the alignment machine. We use a Hunter D111. It's a little old school, but it gets the job done. Next, we're going to go ahead and come over here and hook up the alignment heads. We go ahead and calibrate all 4 heads, which talks to the machine through these cables. Then we're going to go ahead and drop it down onto these turntables, which allows you to move the steering wheel freely and sends all the information to the alignment machine. At this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and set the brake and put the vehicle in gear so the vehicle doesn't roll off the turntables. Now I'm going to go ahead and move the steering wheel from side to side, measure the caster, and see what the settings are. And the next step, we're going to go ahead and adjust the vehicle's camber, caster, and then after that, we'll go ahead and dial the toe in. And after moving the tires from side to side and getting the information back to the alignment machine, I see that our camber and caster are off. And we'll go to the screen now. As you can see, we got a way negative camber on the left side, and on the right, it's within the green. A little negative camber is not a bad thing. The caster on the right side, with our adjustable strut rods, we like to move the tire forward for a more positive caster, and positive 1.9 is about where we like to have it. To adjust the camber, you need to lift the hood and support it, and come down here, and on 65 and 66 you have upper control arm shims, which you will need a 3/4 inch wrench, and you need to get down here and loosen those nuts on the upper control arm and loosen them up quite a ways, and then you're going to raise the vehicle up in the air and pull on the top of the tire, which will then allow you to access the shims. Pull on the tire, which will allow you to access the shims, and your shims will look something like this. And then what I like to do is I like to put a piece of electrical tape and tape them together, which allows you to not drop them during installation. Lucky for me, this customer has allowed us to put our adjustable control arms on. And in order to adjust that, we can go ahead and raise it all the way up in the air. Our adjustable strut rods, it allows you to move the bottom of the tire in or out instead of the top of the tire, which if you move it out too far, will cause tire clearance with the top of the fender. So with a 3/4 inch socket and a wrench, you want to remove the lower control arm bolt. Now with a pry bar, remove the bolt. want to be careful. Sometimes this control arm can pop out at you. Now go ahead and remove the washers. The pry bar help you out a little bit. Go ahead and back the nut off. Then go ahead and adjust. Now with this having a negative, too much of a negative camber, I want to adjust the clevis in, which will bring the bottom of the tire in and the top of the tire out. I think I got it about right there. Now another thing I like to do is take your pry bar again and pry on the bottom part of the body. For easier installation. Go ahead and install your shims back in. Spacers back in. Go ahead and put the lower control arm bolt back in. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and lower the vehicle, and anytime you make any kind of adjustment, you're going to remove the tires back and forth, and that is called your caster sweep. Alright, now you can see that we've had the camber pretty much dialed in with the Mustang adjustable control arms. And now we are able to adjust the caster. We got to move this one back, which is very easily done with the MustangShop adjustable strut rods. Now that we've got the vehicle raised up in the air, we can go ahead and adjust the adjustable strut rod, which allows the tire to move forward and backward without any kind of binding. Now in order to adjust the clevis, you're going to need an 1 1/8" wrench. Now you can adjust, we need to adjust the tire backwards. Okay, now I've moved it back quite a bit, so I'm going to raise the vehicle back down and re-sweep the caster and figure out what our settings are going to be. Caster adjusted quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and lower the vehicle back down, re-sweep the caster, and see what our settings are from there. You're always going to want to reset the suspension because that will affect your settings. You come up here, and go back to remeasure caster. And then we're going to move the tires back and forth. Show the vehicle specs. And I've actually gone a little too far, so now I need to bring it more forward. You always like to have a little bit more positive caster on your right side compared to your left side to compensate for the crown in the road, which will allow your vehicle to drive straighter. Okay, we've taken an 1 1/8" wrench and a 1" wrench. You're going to go ahead and tighten the adjustable strut rods. I always like to use a little bit of blue Loctite on the threads just to ensure that the jam nuts do not back off. Okay, now that we have the blue Loctite on there, we're going to go ahead and take 2 1/8" wrenches and tighten it down on the lower control arm side. Then you're going to take 1 1/8" wrench and a 1" wrench, hold the part that goes into the one-piece clevis, and tighten down. And then with an 1/8" wrench, go ahead and tighten down the adjustable lower controller. And that concludes the